It is time for Around the 412 with Smitty and Tyler.
Welcome back to another Pirates episode of Around the 412. I am Tyler. With me, as always, is my co-host, Smitty. Go follow us on all of our social medias at Around the 412. If you're not watching the show on YouTube already, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, leave a like on the video, and you will also find the description of the show on the listening platforms and on YouTube. You'll find all the links to our great sponsors, as well as year 8 of Rocking Around the 412. It's our Christmas fundraiser where we provide children in the local Pittsburgh area the Christmas that they've always deserved. Helped 177 kids to date over the first 7 years. Well, actually, the first year was actually donated to a children's center in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. So we're not actually sure how many that impacted. But years 2 through 7, 177 kids, over $36,000 raised that we know of. The Angel Tree that we partner with the East Rochester Salvation Army in the name of our late friend Dalton Keene. A little bit more iffy on how much is actually being spent. So we're sure we're probably close to being over 40,000, but we definitely want to hit the actual mark when it comes to the GoFundMe or personal donations to Smitty and I ourselves. So if you want to get involved, we do have the GoFundMe link below to that. We also can take donations by you just sending the money to Smitty or I so that GoFundMe doesn't take a cut of that. There are some prizes that are going to be available if you do donate, such as Penguins tickets, some Pittsburgh sports memorabilia, Around the 412 merch, Game Changers shirts, lots of good stuff. By the way,
something to add in about Around the 412 merch. New merch on the way. Our guy Shop Yins. If you guys also watch or listen to Pirates Fan Forum, which this is a Pirates show, so actually good time to plug them. They do great stuff over there, and it's not just whenever they feel like it, like us. They actually, keep you guys connected to the Pirates throughout the season and off season. He does stuff for them. If you guys are familiar with that, like the Call Your Shot stuff that they do, he gives a free t-shirt away for whichever question they decide to pick for that. Anyways, we're going to have a bunch of stuff dropping with him over at that site. So right now, our original logo is up there right now for purchase in black, white, or gray. But we got hats coming, we got shorts coming, and then we got like all the different variations that we've had through the years of our Around the 412 logo also going to be up on the site over there in the very near future. So excited about that. But I'm plugging it right now just to bring up for future use, but do not buy right now. This is the only time that you ever hear me say do not purchase this, because we're going to have an affiliate code as well to save you guys some money and also supports us in the process. So it's up there. You can go look at it, but I would not purchase right now because you're hurting both of us if you do so. But that's on the way.
Well, there you go. Good information to have. But yeah, all the links to our great sponsors going to be down below. Like I said, this is the Pirates show. And the reason I said it so emphatically is that it has been 77 days since our last Pirates show. We try to be pretty adamant about having a Pirates show throughout the season weekly, but it came to a certain point. And what's funny is I feel like you and I, it was almost unspoken. We didn't really say anything to each other, but we just kind of knew that. And I don't even remember exactly what happened. I pretty much tuned out after that when it comes to the Pirates season. It must have been a really bad series. Or
I think it was before this, but like just for me on a personal level, like where I just completely checked out, it was the same night as the Steelers Friday Night Lights when the Rockies had that like ridiculous comeback where the Pirates were up like 9-0 or whatever it was after one inning. When the Rockies came back and won that game, I didn't pay attention like to the Pirates at all. I didn't pay attention to baseball at all. Playoff baseball I always enjoy. Like I literally got it on right in front of me right now, Yankees and Red Sox, and I enjoy watching playoff baseball. But baseball in general just like doesn't do it for me if I'm not watching the Pirates. And I checked out on whatever date that was, the beginning of August. So I think even before that we might have stopped recording, but it was probably in the same general.
I think what checked us out was losing 10-1, 10-4, and 7-2 to the Chicago White Sox in that homestand. And because our last episode for a Pirates show was July 16th, and that was 77 days ago from today. And on July 18th, 19th, and 20th, they lost 3 in a row to the White Sox, which coincidentally, they won the next 8 of their next 9 games.
They didn't play bad ball throughout a good portion of August.
I think that losing that White Sox series by a combined 27-7 over those 3-game stretch. That was probably the final straw for us. And I just remember it was like unspoken that we just weren't going to have Pirate shows moving forward. Plus, Steelers training camp was starting, so it was easy for us to shift gears just to that.
Yeah, and here's my big thing. I'm not saying that you necessarily feel the same way. I would like to think so, but I don't want to speak for you. But at least for me, the way that I looked at it, I don't want to be disingenuous on here and like pretend that I'm paying attention to this stuff and then come on here and give an opinion that I really don't know about because I'm not watching the team. So like it's just hard for me to have opinions on something and pretend that I can back them up if I'm not paying attention to what's going on. So I'd rather just tell you guys where you can find the content of people that are providing good content on the Pirates, as opposed to putting something out that I don't know about what I'm talking about. So
I agree with you, because I can promise you that our last show was before the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, I don't even know if I can say that I watched combined innings to fill up like more than 2 games over August and September. Like even like Skeen starts, like it just didn't do it for me because it's so hard to watch, in my opinion, and it's difficult to watch. Even despite how good Skeens can look, the offense that you're getting on the flip side on the other half of those innings, it's just disappointing for me to watch. It's frustrating for me to watch, and I just didn't desire to do it. So yeah, I think if you added up all of the innings that I watched in the month of August and September, you might be able to squeak out 18 innings. You might get 2 games out of me, but I'm not going to say that I sat here and watched every game. I watch probably every game or most games definitely through, I would say, at least April. And then once May starts, I'm a little bit more sporadic. I try to catch most games if I can, but I'm not like itching to say like I need to watch the Pirates game. And then come June, it's especially this season, it already felt like dog days, and it was tiresome, and we were just longing for football. So yeah, I don't want to be disingenuous either. Like I care about the Pirates, but only to a certain degree compared to a lot of the other guys that can give you good content year in and every single week, and honestly, a lot of people every single day about Pirates baseball. We can't do that. We're honest about that. We wish the Pirates were good, but it sounds like that's probably not coming anytime soon.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Being that this is probably going to be a quicker episode, going to be more hard-pressed to fit these in here. I was hoping I could transition this when you were talking about Paul Skeens, because our friends at Game Changers do have a couple Paul Skeens designs. We'll throw it to myself. By the way, some updated ads as well, but let me tell you about Game Changers first. What's going on, everybody? Smitty from Around the 412 here. Got to take a quick second to tell you about our friends at Game Changers. That's their logo. This is one of their shirts. Best vintage t-shirts in the game. Doesn't matter if it's sports, music, movies. They got you covered with their designs. Over 5,000 different designs in that catalog over there. GameChanger.la or Pick6.la. You'll save yourself $10 when you use the code AT412 on your order. The link is below to both of those sites. Go check out their entire catalog. Again, 5,000 different designs. If you go with the black or the white, it'll be true to size. If you go with the pepper, which I'm wearing right now, or the ivory, they'll be a bit oversized. It's a heavyweight material. Beautiful stuff. Go check them out. Again, save yourself $10 using code AT412 at checkout. There's also Jared Jones. Can't wait to see him get back into the fold next year. Andrew McCutcheon. We'll see if he's back. Going to continue playing. O'Neill Cruz, Clemente, and then there's also a Bonds from his time with the Pirates. But the reason that we're really even making this episode really isn't like to recap the season or anything like that. It's more so out of frustration. Some news in terms of the order of operations going forward here for the Pirates. They announced that Don Kelly was going to move forward with him as the manager, gave him an extension. So he's clearly going to be the guy here for a little bit. And I'm not necessarily upset about that move, although I would have liked to have seen them kind of have it be open going into the offseason, maybe bring in some guys for interviews, even if you end up landing on Don Kelly as the guy. But I'm not, necessarily going to gripe about that. But here's the thing about it is like very clearly Ben Cherington's still going to be in the fold. Because if you were hiring a new GM, parting ways with Ben Cherington, that new GM's going to get the opportunity to come in here and pick his manager. So clearly, like with the process, even before that they said anything regarding Ben Cherington, he was going to be back into the fold. And he's also part of Don Kelly's press conference that they did, talking about how he can't wait to continue to work with him and stuff like that. So this is happening. This is going forward. They're moving with Ben Cherington going into year 7. And it's just, for what reason? Like, what have we seen through the first 6 years? How do you, and I put this out there, like, I don't take this organization seriously at this point anyway. So this isn't a question that they have to answer to me. But like, for Pirate fans that are truly invested in hoping to see change, how on earth do you sell this move to them to go forward with what they are? And assuming Travis Williams, who doesn't necessarily have a role in the baseball stuff, like, they're just running it back. And I understand there's going to be some change on the coaching side. We've already kind of seen that take place. Oscar Marine moving on. They moved on from him. Mike Rebello moved on from him. And then Brett Strom, who apparently isn't retiring. He's open to other opportunities, even though he's like 95. Not really. He's less than 80, but he's getting up there. Yeah, I don't know how you sell running it back on the upper management side of things.
I don't know either. To give Travis Williams' quote that he gave the other day, quote, "I think given where this team is at this point in time, the strengths that we have in terms of our pitching staff, the young core of position players that we have, and what we have in our farm system coming up, we felt at the end of the day that making any changes as a general manager would set us back. It's not what our fans expect. That's not what we expect." I don't know about that. "We're looking in 2026 to make the playoffs, period. Full stop. We did not want to veer from that. We're pushing it all in to make sure we're able to make the playoffs in 2026, end quote. I don't know how you can be a serious program whenever you are saying that you want to go all in, which, first off, I would love to see what that looks like from the Pirates. I don't even know where to begin as to what all in would even entail for the Pittsburgh Pirates because of how low the bar is set for them. But even if you move past that, I don't even know how you can go all in with a general manager who 6 years in has done absolutely nothing, has finished last in the MLB several times. You've had multiple number 1 overall picks. This past year,
every team in the division has made the playoffs at least twice since he's been here.
Yeah. You finished 3rd in worst record in the MLB this year. I don't know how you go into 2026 with a straight face and say that you think you can go all in with that general manager. I just think it is laughable to say it's not what our fans expect and it's not what we expect, to say that it's not what they expect when you should move on from the general manager. I think that 99.999% of Pirates fans would be perfectly okay with moving on from the general manager if for the simple fact that it is something changed. I don't even think that it would matter if the person came in and won right away or not. We're used to losing. I don't think it would matter if they lost. But the fact that they keep running it back, the same story, the same crew, I understand that they're keeping Donnie Kelly, and I don't really care about that move, to be completely honest with you. Like, I expect that sort of nature from the Pirates, to where they didn't really search for a outside source for a manager. There was no interim tag on his managerial post for the 2025 season. They named him the manager. It is what it is. They're going to roll back with him. I think that he was a upgrade slightly from what you were getting from Derek Shelton, but I wouldn't say that it was like over the moon where I think that they couldn't look at other options, but it is a move that I fully expect from the Pirates to just keep their in-house guy as the manager. But how do you continue to roll out this GM? How do you continue to let him make decisions? I don't know how they got to another draft and you're letting him make these decisions. That should have been the first sign to everybody that this was going to be the case, that they were going to keep Ben Cherington, and he was
when you take a high school pitcher,
take a high school pitcher in the first round, you're allowing him to make that sort of decision for the future of your fan base. You are definitely rolling back with that same general manager, and it's frustrating. And I don't know what it is going to take for the Pirates, for Bob Nutting, to finally realize that this is not working. And if you want to sit there, as Travis Williams says, and I don't know if he feels genuine about this. I don't know if he's just being a mouthpiece for Bob Nutting and actually saying doesn't not actually saying what Travis Williams thinks about the organization. Like you said, like he doesn't really have much to say about the actual ball club decisions for the organization. He's just the president of the team.
Mhm.
But I don't understand how you continue to trot this guy out as general manager, allow him to make decisions in the draft, allow him to sign free agents if they sign any. I don't know what all in's going to look like. I don't know how you can be serious and sit there with a straight face and say that you think you're going to make the postseason in 2026 and you're going to be all in to do that when you have this guy still running your ball club. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah, I mean, clearly things are going to be much different in year 7 than they were in the first 6. I mean, give me a break. I just they should have not let him handle trading a piece such as David Bednar. They didn't let him do the Keller trade, I guess, at the deadline, but by all indications, like everybody expects that that's going to happen this offseason. Like this guy he's not made the cut. What's going on, everybody? Smitty from around the 412 had to take a quick second to tell you about our friends at Keats Barbershop. That's Keats Barbershop, 401 Burkage Way, Suite 2 in Beaver, PA. Download the app, The Cut. Book an appointment with Christian today, or you can do a walk-in with Tony or Ashley. Again, download the app, The Cut, to book an appointment today, or they do take walk-ins as well. Could not imagine going anywhere else. Old school vibe in there. Check them out. Oh man, I don't like the way that necessarily looks at the top, but we'll get there when we get there. Boots has a new logo. I mentioned this last week. I might just have to use the other one on there.
The other one blended better, matched our colors better.
Yeah, and with it having the black background, even if I remove that background, I just don't think you'd be able to see it because of ours. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. The thing that I just mentioned regarding Mitch Keller, that's the other part of this is if you're going all in, you're not trading a guy like Mitch Keller. Like you're finding other ways to acquire bats, in my opinion. Like you're trading from your prospect pool to go get those guys. You're spending the money in free agency. If you're making like a baseball trade like that and trading the guy that I understand he's not the same level of talent as Paul Skeens or has the ceiling of a Jared Jones, what we saw that he could do. I know that you have Bubba in the mix now. Ashcraft has looked very good in limited time. Like they don't get me wrong, they have a number of arms that are certainly we have high expectations for, but he's just such a nice, like the floor that he brings as a starter. Like he's a stabilizer. You know what you're going to get from Mitch Keller. And I don't think that enough can be said about that. That's not a guy that I'm anxious to move on from. Now, if I felt good about what that return could be, I guess I could warm up to the idea a little bit more. But I don't know how anybody, based off of the trades that we've seen this guy make, has any faith that they are going to get a return that makes sense. And I still think they're going to pull the trigger on it. So I believe that Mitch Keller is going to be traded this offseason. I just have a lot of doubt about it actually improving the ball club in 2026.
Yeah, I agree that if you are serious about going all in for 2026, I don't think it involves trading Mitch Keller. Like you were saying, he's one of those guys that you know what you're getting night in and night out from. He's very consistent with his outings, that he gets very good quality starts, pretty consistency. And I just don't see how that is something that you would trade away if you were being serious about going all in. Even if it got you a bat, you're worsening part of your team to get you a different part. Now, granted, I understand that how badly you need a bat, but I don't think trading one of your middle of the rotation guys is the way to do it, considering that your rotation is your strength right now. I think that even in 2026, if they were to go all in, I still would imagine that the strength of their team is still going to be their rotation, even if they do acquire a couple bats in free agency. I just don't see a way that trading Mitch Keller makes sense for the Pirates. He's on albeit a expensive contract in terms of Pirates terms, but in the grand schemes of baseball, he's on a team-friendly contract for the outings that you're going to get. And you bring up a good point. Who are we to trust Ben Cherington to make a trade like this and expect him to get the return that would be worth trading a player like Mitch Keller? I definitely don't trust that. I don't think that he would make the value that you're getting back worth the investment of trading him. It's just disappointing because I feel like this is just going to be another train wreck of an offseason going into it. And we've talked about it so much. We talked about it going in back to before this past season and last offseason. Like last offseason was the offseason to actually put some potential into the lineup, put some potential into some bats, and really secure yourself as a contender in the National League behind Paul Skeens. After seeing some of the other guys that you're mentioning, like Braston Ashcraft, having Bubba Chandler up here as well, seeing the potential of what this rotation and this pitching staff is going to look like, I don't know how you're not doubling down on the offense and trying to get some bats in order to be competitive, because we've said it before. If you get league average play offensively from the Pirates, you're talking about at worst a wild card contender.
If they scored 4 runs in every game this year, they win 90 plus games. And that's like crazy. Saying like they don't have to like exactly 4 runs, not 4 plus. If they scored exactly 4 runs in every single game this year, they win over 90 games.
It's crazy.
They needed to win 84 to be a playoff team.
I don't know how they're going to get there. I really don't. With this guy making the decisions, I don't see the switch. I don't see the magical switch that the Pirates, Bob Nutting, Travis Williams are going to be able to automatically flick, and then Ben Cherington is automatically going to be a good GM, make good decisions, make good signings. I just don't see it. We've seen it for 6 years now. We are coming up on like the majority of this podcast has been done with Ben Cherington as the GM of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we've been having the same conversation since 2019.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
I think early on we were somewhat hopeful, but yeah, I mean, very clearly now it's not worked. He's not operating the same way that he was able to in Boston or Toronto, wherever you want to look at. He was an executive before. It's just, you can see Pittsburgh is a harder place to build something for sure, but we've seen it happen with somebody else in the past. This is clearly not the guy that can do it with the financial restraints that he has.
12 years ago today, as of recording this, I know this is going to come out a day after, but as of recording this, 12 years ago today, that wild card game against the Cincinnati Reds, the Cueto game.
Yeah, that's our World Series, and it was a moment in a wild card game. That's how bad it's been.
And now we got Yankees fans complaining about a 3-game series because they lost game 1. Go back and look in 2015, and then tell me complaining about a wild card series.
Yeah,
give me a break.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I'll close out by saying this, and then you giving your opinion on it, obviously, before we get out of here. But I will say, from an offensive perspective, I don't think that they're like super far away. Like, in spite of the GM, the one move that he maybe made that looks pretty promising, and not just because of what's going on the other side, and who knows if this guy's gonna ever play baseball again for the team that he got traded to, but the Horwitz trade looks pretty good now. I think that he came back and played pretty nicely actually down the stretch. Actually hit for a little bit more pop than I expected to down the stretch coming off the wrist injury. Maybe they have something there. I don't know that he's ever going to even, like, if we're ever even going to find out if he can play against lefties, but they got their platoon right-handed pitcher on the mound, first baseman, it looks like. So there's something to be said about that. And if you have Cruz and Reynolds even just like regress to the mean, like the average of what they typically are as players, I don't think you're that far away. Like, if you get 2 bats, I think that this could be taking like, if you get this type of pitching again next season, plus you add in Jared Jones whenever he comes back, I think you could be looking at a team competing for a playoff spot. But there's, some ifs obviously built within there. So I'm just saying, I don't see the vision necessarily, but I'll say I think it's possible, in spite of what they've done, that this team is a playoff team in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I don't think that it will take a lot to be that far off, to be completely
84
honest.
Wins this year.
84 wins, that's not that much. And considering that your pitching staff, I don't think that is something that should be insurmountable. This
isn't me saying that they did enough for them to make the playoffs this year, but realistically, if O'Neal Cruz was the player that it looked like he was going to be earlier in the season, and if Brian Reynolds was even like close to what Brian Reynolds typically is, this team probably is in the playoffs just based off those 2 things happening.
Yeah, I think that you need to get better consistency throughout your lineup, batting wise, and that entails getting some more bats into your lineup. I think that you have some players that are solid players, but when you're relying on 3 or 4 guys to carry you 9 in and 9 out, and then the other 5 spots in your lineup aren't up to snuff, it's hard. It's hard to win baseball games that way. It's hard to rely on the pitching that way when 2/3 of your lineup can't get you consistent performances. I don't think that it's going to take a ton of, honestly, money or a ton of players to make this difference. I think that you're talking about 2 to 3 guys that come into this lineup, and all of a sudden we talk about them being a wild card team because you mix in what you're getting from your pitching staff. I don't really think that they're that far away, depending on how, no matter how doom and gloom it sounds that we're talking about. I do think that they can be closer. It just takes effort. It takes the GM, it takes the organization actually trying to willingly give effort in this offseason and trying to get some of those productive bats. I don't want more of these 1 year, $3 million, 1 year, $4 or $5 million contracts. I would like to see some actual financial responsibility and some financial investment into this lineup. I'm not saying you have to sign $100 million contracts. I don't expect that. That's more than your freaking payroll. But I am saying give some effort, and you owe it to your pitching staff. You owe it to a player like Paul Skeens while you have them. I feel like somebody needs to knock them on the head and realize, hey, you're not going to have this guy forever. So you better cash in while you have him, because in 3-4 years, he's going to be gone. His service time's going to be up, and you're going to be trading him away, or you're going to be losing him in free agency, which I can't imagine the Pirates are going to lose him in free agency. They're definitely going to trade him away.
No,
so you got at probably most 3 more years of Paul Skeens in a Pirates uniform. You got to maximize it, and you owe it to him, and you owe it to the fans to be able to do so, because you have a generational talent that you're not willing to build behind. What kind of an organization are you? It's terrible.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see how they go about it this offseason, but we'll be here. We'll see how often we record Pirates episodes throughout the offseason. Maybe just like, and honestly, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a full-blown podcast. Like maybe we'll just do a quick YouTube video talking about if they do make a signing or make a trade. If they trade Keller, that's obviously a situation where we'll definitely do a video or podcast or something. But curious to kind of follow along here and what they do through the offseason. Before we outro,
Pirates sign Andrew McCutchen for a 1-year contract.
$5 million. Yeah, before we get out of here, we got a video for him now to tell you guys about Marcelo Electric. What's going on, everybody? Smitty from Around the 412 here. Had to take a quick second to tell you about Marcelo Electric, serving Beaver, Allegheny, Lawrence, and Butler County. Whether it's residential, commercial, or service calls, our boy Brandon Marcelo's got you covered. 724-614-0611. Again, that's Marcelo Electric, 724-614-0611. The link below in the description takes you to his Facebook page. All his contact information is there, as well as a lot of the projects that he's been working on. Does great work. Couldn't recommend him enough. I mean, I hope he does great work. He's actually never done anything for me, so hopefully he does great work. Got great reviews on Facebook, so I assume that he does. No, but shout out to Boots. It's funny, like I had to actually re-record that, like no joke, because I said Boots, and I was like, I probably should have said Brandon Marcelo, not Boots. But shout out to him. Like I said, the link below in the description. That's also the case to download the app, The Cut. To book an appointment at Cheeks Barbershop, GameChanger.la, Pick6.la. Save yourself $10 when you use code AT412. And then, like I said, our merch on the way. Shop in. Also, he does Steelers, Penguins, Pirates stuff. It's all very good. We got Andrew McCutchen shirt through him. He's got a really cool DK Metcalf drip one as well that I think I'm going to get. But I'm waiting until our stuff's on the site as well, so it can all just be sent to me at once. But yeah, that's hopefully by the time that we record next week. I would say by the time we put out another episode, but with our recording schedule, recording 3 in a row here, there's probably going to be another episode that comes out after this, and I don't want you to get the idea that that's not already out. So hold. However, you can immediately donate right now to year 8 of Rocking Around the 412. We got that going on in the very near future, very, very near future. We will have the Rocking Around the 412 Angel Tree stuff going on from the East Rochester Salvation Army. And you guys can be a part of that as well. Or if you donate right now, obviously it goes to the local families here that we can find in the 724 and 412 areas. Every single penny that we receive goes directly to helping out those families, providing them with the Christmas that Tyler and I never had to worry about growing up. And we're fortunate to just always have. So we can't thank you guys enough for the support on this mission through all the years. We're excited about being back for year 8. The support that we've already gotten this year. Let's keep it rolling. Follow us on everything at Around the 412, all the socials. If you're watching, like Tyler said, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you're listening, leave us a 5-star review and subscribe, and go do the other, totally free. So regardless of if you're watching or if you're listening, go find us somewhere else and do the exact same thing. You find Tyler, Weiler_Teach33. Find me, Zachary Smith, PGH. And until whenever you see us on another Pirates show, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.